Welcome to the Clear to Send podcast, a podcast about wireless engineering, where we educate you on Wi-Fi technology, talk about design tips, troubleshooting, interviews, and the tools. Here are your hosts, Roel and Francois.
This episode is proudly sponsored by MetaGeek. For more than a decade, network professionals have used MetaGeek Wi-Fi tools to deploy, maintain, and troubleshoot wireless networks. Visit metageek.com/CTS and use the code CTS10 at checkout for 10% off your purchase of MetaGeek brand hardware and software.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us today. We're on a brand new episode of the Clear to Send podcast. This is episode 101. We've broken over the 100th episode. And I'm actually recording in person here with Robert Boardman. How are you doing, dude?
Good. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. We're here in my house, in the garage specifically, and we're recording on this new blackout Blue Yeti microphone just so we can record at the same time, or together at the same time. Because actually, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about the Wi-Fi of Everything show that we're both doing, and also we're going to talk about the main topic of this show is going to be the Ubiquiti AirFiber, and that's something that you've deployed at your campus.
Yeah, just recently.
All right, why don't you tell everybody about yourself, who you are, where you're from, just in case they don't know you.
Hi, my name is Robert Boardman. You can find me on Twitter at Rob_404, so that's ROBB_404.
Yep.
I have a blog at Me, Myself, and the Network, which is actually Rob44.com. I was just like, wow, I titled that wrong. I should probably buy that domain someday.
This is why you're on the podcast, because you're more of a... You're not the writing type.
No. I mean, I don't mind writing, and I find its value. It's just, I enjoy speaking. I enjoy doing, again, like what we do with the Wi-Fi of Everything show. I love being in a presence with people. So
okay, yeah, let's talk about the Wi-Fi of Everything show. You're actually here today in my garage because we recorded a couple of videos for the Wi-Fi of Everything show. It's on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and search Wi-Fi of Everything.
It is youtube.com/C/Wi-Fi of Everything.
Yeah, and so we've got that URL. We've hit the 100 subscriber.
We are no longer a rando channel. We are now a real channel.
So we've made it to a certain point within the YouTube channel.
YouTube no longer calls us just the random people.
Random URL. But what do we do on this show, Robert?
We do stuff on.
We actually we show ourselves on video.
So essentially, besides just looking at ourselves, we actually go out, and the whole goal is to basically do some how-tos, talk to interviewing people from about Wi-Fi, to show things, to review things. It was just you and I had this conversation about how we wanted kind of a different medium. You know, we get a lot of podcasts, we get a lot of written word. But it's like, yay! Well, we'll take the Venvolt. That's the cool thing that is going on right now. It's like, this is an awesome piece of technology.
Which is from Ventev.
It's a PoE battery for, it's got so many other purposes, but it's
got other purposes. But by the way, I do have a giveaway going on right now for a Venvolt. And also with the CWMP library.
Yeah.
Head over to CTS, cleartosend.net/100 to sign up for that giveaway. But we're also talking about the Venvolt on the Wi-Fi of Everything show. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's awesome to hear, like, Roel talk about it. It's awesome to see the write-ups. People like Sam Clements and Ventev are actually doing these write-ups talking about what it is. But we kind of wanted to get to a place where we could take that piece of technology and say, here is what it is. Here's what we're actually doing. So it's kind of it's just a different medium. It's a different way to do things. It's allowing people to see what it is that they hear and read about. They get a
visual aspect of it all. And we're going to bring on equipment. Mm-hmm. We actually have some screen shares also of you going through some, even your AirFiber installation, which we're talking about on this show. And what's really cool about this is it's a different format, like you said. It's video. It actually takes a lot more time, a lot more effort to do, but it's fun.
It's fun.
It's really fun. And we get to go to some of the vendors' offices because we are in, the heart of Silicon Valley. So one of the episodes that you guys will see as this episode comes out is the Mist series, the Mist System series. And we recorded that over at their headquarters in, where is it? Sunnyvale?
No, Cupertino.
Yes. Sorry. It's all in Silicon Valley.
It's all
Silicon
It's
Valley.
San Jose. We're there.
So we went over to their office. We recorded a couple of videos. We talked about VBLE. We talked about analytics,
WXLAN and Dynamic PCAP. There's a lot of exciting things. And so it's one of those things where, you know what I mean, we can sit there and you can show screen shares in your, in your blog posts. You can sit there and talk about it. But to actually watch somebody build that while you're doing it is really interesting.
We have videos of the dashboard. Bob Friday, who's the CTO,
going through the dashboard, or some of their engineers walking through the dashboard, which is really good.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see because it's one thing to talk about it, right? I can talk about it for an hour.
I can tell you how great it works.
Yeah. I can talk about logging into the dashboard, seeing your SLAs and how which people are having issues, but it's different because over audio, you don't know what I'm talking about. And so we created this channel, Wi-Fi of Everything, which is going to go over some of this stuff. I mean, there's going to be some overlap with the Clear to Send podcast, obviously, because there's people consume this content in different formats. And so we included video for the visual aspect of things. And it's going to be a little bit different.
I think the overlap is good, to be honest with you, because, I mean, it kind of saturates you with these theories and with these ideas. So not only do you get to see it, but now you can listen to it. You can read about it. So you can make a fully informed decision, is because now you know what I mean? Because not all of us get access to this thing. So it's like, hey, I need this. And then you have person A is like, well, you should be tried this. And person B is, have you tried that? And you go, okay, well, let me go take a look at these two. And it's like, well, this one has a blog written about it. This one has a podcast, you know what I mean, talking about it. So it's like, our goal here is to kind of try to take as much Wi-Fi related things as we can and bring it to you and show it to you in a video, because just because it might work for you, it might not fit where you want it to be. It might, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it gives us, we're just trying to, provide another aspect.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a good show. I mean, we've recorded quite a bit of episodes already. Yeah. And I'm actually impressed with how far we've gone with the YouTube channel.
Because thank you to everybody who is helped us so
everyone
far.
Who has supported us. In creating this YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, search for Wi-Fi of Everything, hit the subscribe button, and you'll get notified, or you'll be subscribed to us and you'll get the notifications of when we come out with new videos. I think it's going to be exciting because we do have something coming up in the upcoming 2018, the new year.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff coming. Yeah.
We got new videos. We're also having a giveaway on that at that time as well. And so I think you guys should tune in, watch the videos, let us know what you guys think about those videos.
Yeah, and I'd really like to see what you guys want to see. Because I mean, really what it is like Roel and I will sit down and we'll say, okay, what is it we want to hear about? Like, we were at MFD and we saw Mist, and Mist really excited us.
Yeah,
and so we sat down and we're like, hey, let's have a conversation about this.
Let's do like a deep dive on specific topics and get to know that more closely, get more familiar with it and how it works. And so that's how this whole YouTube channel came to be. This is how it was born. And
was after a Clear to Send episode, we were like, hey, let's talk about doing some video.
Yeah, because I know most of the listeners are more audio people because they listen to it in their car, but there are people out there who do want video.
So I guess a question I have, since you have a big audio base, and this is something that has been requested of us from the YouTube channel. And I mean, would you guys like to see the YouTube channel in an audio format where we just kind of release the audio so people can listen to it while they're driving and things like that?
I say, why not, right?
I mean, I'm down, but before
you put all the effort in.
Yeah, before we go down that road, I mean, I would love to hear feedback from people.
Yeah, and you guys can let us know. Go to cleartosend.net/101.
Yes.
In the comments section, and let us know what you guys think. But I wanted to, we're going to transition soon to the Ubiquiti AirFiber, but I wanted to introduce this new YouTube channel that Robert and I are doing because it's a new experience for us. Let's be honest, right? Yeah. We're new at video. It's a challenge, and it's only you and I doing everything, right?
Exactly.
And just earlier today, I was ironing the backdrop.
Yeah. So if any of you guys are, have any video skills or any kind of editing skills that would love to give us pointers or helps or volunteer time, we would love to have people involved.
As I was ironing the backdrop, let me tell you,
I'm editing video while you are ironing video.
You're editing video within Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, why don't you just use iMovie? Because it's so much easier.
And I was sitting there, no man, it's not.
Well, we have our differences, but yes. I work on the audio portion, and I do the video. I clean up the audio. I give it to Robert. He does the video, puts it together. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are committed to this. Yeah. We have put in a lot of effort. But hey, it's going to be, I think, an interesting journey. We have a lot more videos to come out with. We're going to talk about a lot more range of topics. It's not just enterprise Wi-Fi. It's anything that's Wi-Fi related, because the show is
the Wi-Fi of everything. Yeah, and that's the thing is we get into this mentality of, I wouldn't say it bothers me, but it concerns me when we sit there and say, well, that's not enterprise Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's like, guys,
the truth is
there is no enterprise Wi-Fi.
It's just Wi-Fi.
It's Wi-Fi.
We bring in consumer devices into our enterprise networks, and people just want it to work.
If anybody believes that an iPad is an enterprise device, they need to, have a conversation.
Because it can be,
yeah,
but it's mainly used as a consumer device.
So that's the whole thing. It's like, you never know. We're going to start seeing Alexas roaming around. We were talking earlier about...
I've already got 2 Alexa. I got an Echo Dot and a regular Echo at my desk.
We were talking today about how, the Wemo devices are 2.4 only.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm at home and, I'm lazy. I don't want to plug in my Christmas tree.
You just want to yell at Alexa. Yeah. It's dark. Turn it on.
What is it? It's December. It's December 9th as we're recording this in my garage, and I have my Christmas tree up. I honestly do not want to plug that in every single day.
I like how you had to check the date, by the way.
Yeah, I had to check the date. I don't know what today is. And I have a timer, but, those timers... sometimes they fail on me.
Or, hey, dusk changes times.
Yeah, and I don't want to.
It might get cloudy outside, and you might want to advertise during the day.
Maybe I'm not at home during that time, right? So I installed a Wemo power outlet, and it's Wi-Fi enabled. But the thing is, it's 2.4 only, right? Yeah. And my network was 5 gigahertz only. So I had to create.
We look at this, and the thing is that Wemos are cute for the fact that right now you're using them to control your lights.
That's all I'm doing for right now. There's so much more capabilities.
Yeah, it's a plug. It's literally a smart plug.
But what amazes me, right, and this is where I can see enterprise using this, is I have an Alexa Dot sitting in my kitchen, and when I get home, I can say, Alexa, turn on the Christmas tree. And then the lights just come on. How easy is that? How cool is that?
Yeah.
And what other applications can you use that in an enterprise? Let's say, I don't know, maybe I know there's wireless sprinklers out there. And you can be like, hey, Alexa, water the...
I'm just saying.
Turn on the sprinklers for the football field.
Or you just start looking at the applications of the smart home, which is starting to go into the smart business of the point where it's like,
hi, you're looking into a smart
Let's
enterprise.
take a look at HVAC. You were talking about sprinklers. It's like, hi, I got into the office. It's California, but yesterday at 7:00, it was 35 degrees outside. Mm-hmm. I understand it's California. You guys don't understand. It's not always sunny.
We're not used to that weather.
How if I rolled into the office and said, hey, Alexa, can you turn the heat on?
Yeah, turn the heat to
where it's now a user controlled. We're an end user. The end user is what we are here to appease.
Yeah, we're looking for efficiencies. We're looking for ways to automate things. And I think that's just where it's going. We're going to see these types of devices.
So we have to understand, though. So with the Wi-Fi of everything, our whole goal is the fact that yes, some of the devices that we're going to talk about, I'm ready to do an episode on Wemo. I have 4 of them. I run all of my 3D printers
about it
on
right
Wemo.
Now. Yeah, you run your 3D printers. They're Wi-Fi capable as well. Yeah. But, we're sitting here in my garage. I have the lights set up right now. We got the light shining on us, even though you guys can't see us. What if I kept this permanent, kept it here, as Robert uncorks the whiskey? Just so you know, this is a casual episode right now. And so let's say...
Casual episode, a.k.a. Roel's not drinking wine, he's drinking whiskey.
I am a whiskey and a wine guy. let's say I kept the lights here permanently in my garage, and you came here, we recorded an episode. I can say, Alexa, turn on the lights. And we're ready to go. I don't have to, plug them in. I don't have to worry about
figure out how to turn them on or off, and so it's just I think as professionals we need to stop looking at. We've gotten to this mentality of this is the way it's done.
You're gonna hit that fragile point there.
I know. This is where I pontificate, and and I mean, it's just one of those things. Is we've gotten to this place where it's like,
okay,
this is how it's done. Yes. This is how it's not done. I just
make it work.
Yes, make it work. And for me, it's just like end user experience has always been my key. Does it always?
We're talking about this. You're talking about customer service.
Yeah, it does. We as IT professionals are literally the epitome of customer service. We make our customers happy.
Yep.
We're technically more,
we have more technical abilities.
Hey, we're technically savvy.
We're technically savvy, so we're expected to make things work. With technology.
People want to bring their Wemos. They want to bring their iPads. They want to bring their Echoes.
For them.
They want to sit there and say, "Hi, I'm cold." I can say, "Alexa, turn my Nest up." Mm-hmm. And when they walk to their office, they want to go, "Hi, I'm cold." They don't want to. They're not sitting at the point where they have their little space heater under the desk that they plug in and turn on anymore.
And kill the whole.
Yeah, and kill the whole circuit. They're coming into. They want to walk in and be like, "Alexa, turn the heat up."
Yeah.
Because they can do it at home. It's hard for me to sit there and say, well, that's not enterprise. It's like.
It's not enterprise, but we're going to get there.
We're getting to the point where.
And the consumer level.
It's like when a consumer can sit there and say, when a client or a person can sit there and say, hi, I can do this at home. Why can't I do it at work? You have a better network. Your APs cost $1,000.
Yeah.
My AP cost me $100. Why is it I can walk in and tell Alexa to turn up the heat and it works? Why when I walk to my office, you're like, well, technically we don't use blah, 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 blah.
You know what they're going to say is we don't want everyone calling Alexa this and turn up the heat, turn down the heat.
But the cool thing, have you played with your Alexa to the point that you can change what her call name is? She doesn't have to be Alexa. You could be like, hey, Steve, get that heat turned up. Or in my case, they'd be like, hey, Sam. Pour me some more whiskey.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Automatic whiskey. I'm sure it's possible.
My automatic bartender doesn't work yet.
If it was maybe like a draft.
Oh, whiskey. Sam Clements Reserve on draft. That's a little scary.
Right? A switch that closes the pipe. All right. Well, that's getting.
All right. We're gone. Right. At that point in time, I'm dreaming.
That was our Wi-Fi of everything introduction. If you guys want to check that out,
please
head over to YouTube, look for Wi-Fi of everything, subscribe to the show, let us know what you think. That is a show hosted by myself and Robert Boardman, and we're looking to create more videos, and we do have a lot more down in the pipeline. So you guys should expect more.
And we're always taking ideas.
Yeah, we take ideas too.
Yeah.
So leave comments.
I have never heard a bad idea for a show.
Yeah, what do you guys want to see?
Yeah, what do you want to see?
We can make it happen.
We could packet capture Alexa if you'd like, and on live video. We just did it. We just did a live stream. We just took a break.
We just did a live stream in the YouTube channel. So I don't know if I'm proud of it.
I don't know how I feel about it yet. But it's like things like the point where we were talking with Sam. And he was like, "Hey,
we actually brought Sam? You called Sam. We brought him.
We called Sam. He was. I
don't know if you'll hear him.
Yeah.
On the.
But
he was on speakerphone. We brought him on.
Of our 4 live stream viewers, we took a vote, and they said,
"4 is, I think, a good number
for our first live stream." Yeah, not bad. As of random, we just decided to live stream.
Yeah, and we had Eddie. Hey, Eddie, on there. We had Sean.
Mark Williams was on for a bit.
Mark Williams was on there.
My dad.
Jake Snyder. Oh, your dad was on there. And we said happy birthday. We should have sang happy birthday song.
We should have sang happy birthday.
We should have.
It's like, so for us, this is a fun show. It's something we want to do where it's educational, but it's also fun. We don't want it to be, well, you hit /W, you type, you know what I mean? WLAN 1.
Yeah, we're going to show you exactly how Mist does what they do. And we captured the dashboard, the laptop they were using to do what they do. What's interesting is Bob Friday actually shows you their office.
The office, yes,
with everyone walking around. With
you see the beacons walking around, and it's one of those things. We want to show it to you guys working. You know what I mean? We want. This is a show of how it works, and we're going to do reviews. We're going to see these companies. We're going to look at these companies. We're going to show you what these companies say, and then Roel and I are going to go back and we're going to try this stuff out, and then we're going to tell you our opinions.
Yep.
And that's kind of one of the things that's kind of a disclaimer that we give these guys as we come out. It's like
we're gonna give our honest feedback
opinion
after we have interviewed you on this product.
It's like we have no problem. You know what I mean? And even Mist agreed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and we're like,
hey,
hey,
sure, go ahead
here's our goal. It's like, we want to do a video of here's what you do.
That just shows that they stand behind their product.
And that's, so, I mean, if you guys have something you want us to look at, you want something, we'll reach out. You know, I don't know if any of you guys actually, those of you who know me, I am not afraid to talk to people. So we will go out, we will find the people.
Robert does a good job at talking to these guys.
So we will go out, we will talk to these people, we will find these people, we will get them to talk about their product, and we'll create an episode about it. And then Roel will take it through the paces.
Yep.
Like with Mist, we're getting APs for Mist. I know I'm going to actually, so I run a Cisco network at home.
We have an AP from Mist. We each got one from Mobility Field
and they're going to throw a couple more at us.
We asked for a couple more because we wanted to test out the VBLE feature.
Yeah. And so my thing is like, I will rip down my house. My house network is my lab. It's like, if people in my house aren't happy, you know what, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
So it's the thing is like, we are here for you guys to provide you guys information.
We're here to service you guys. It always comes back to
I don't know if we're here to service them, but
through YouTube. And
Roel is the service guy, by the way. So if you need servicing, call Roel.
If you need service, go to the show notes.
Roel's had too much whiskey because he's now servicing people.
I don't know about that. You've had more than I have, which is why we had to cut off the live stream. And so now we're here on the show.
Yeah, now we're here doing podcasts.
So we're going to transition now to the main topic, which is Ubiquiti AirFiber, because the
Ubiquiti AirFiber24.
24. Yes. Oh, I apologize.
Yes.
So we wanted to talk about this because we always talk about indoor Wi-Fi on this show.
Yes.
And there's another aspect to Wi-Fi. Outdoor. It's you got your point-to-point links, right? You can do point-to-point on 5 gigahertz.
Yes.
Which is probably not good anymore.
Well,
not in.
It depends.
It depends, right?
Because wait, sorry. I'm an educated individual who said it depends. Let's just make sure we have to clarify.
It depends. I would just say, let me rephrase it. In Silicon Valley, as Robert gets up to get a water, in Silicon Valley, 5 gigahertz is probably not the best way. Yeah. Well, you can probably get away with it.
It depends.
The noise floor will probably be high because the area is very condensed. Everyone's got their Wi-Fi.
I guess in a point-to-point, it kind of depends, like you said, like your area. Like it's like if you're in the top of the building and there's nobody else up there, you got plenty of space to play around. If you've got maybe a very narrow beam width, but still, it's 5 gigahertz. It's unlicensed. All the APs broadcast on 5 gigahertz. But you got your Ubiquiti AirFiber, which runs on a 24 gigahertz frequency. Which is not as... There's a reason why I chose it. It's unlicensed for one.
Yeah. It's unlicensed.
It's unlicensed.
That's just so you guys know, if you're interested in this, Ubiquiti AirFiber 24 gigahertz. 24 gigahertz is an unlicensed frequency.
So we started off as, we have... At a remote site at my college, we own 4 lots of land.
And this is in Monterey.
It's in Monterey. Shh, we don't tell people where I'm from.
Well, I tell people I'm from San Jose in my garage.
Oh, yeah, he's from San Jose in his garage. No, so essentially, I have a remote site at the college that I work at where we own 4 plots of land. And what happened is as they were developing it initially, they put trailers out there. So back in like 2008, there was actually like a T1 AT&T line that they ran there to run classes. That was literally the remote campus. And then they developed on one of the other plots of land, and those trailers had kind of went into lapse. They moved the connection. They actually we have a layer 2 circuit through AT&T now into that connection. And so it's an actual campus. Mm-hmm. But those trailers were sitting over there. And as we were starting to find that remote site was starting to grow. Now, to build another campus is millions of dollars. It's a bond. There's a lot of there's a lot of work into that. But we had an additional 5 trailers on the other side in a different land that we could use for classes. So they came to us and they were like, all right, we need internet over there. And in education, they just said...
How much is it to run fiber?
And in education, they were just like, we need internet, make it so.
This episode is proudly sponsored by Channelizer and Wi-Spy DBX, the professional spectrum analysis toolkit from MetaGeek. If you're a professional in wireless networking, you know that the most frustrating Wi-Fi problems are the ones you can't see. Trying to diagnose Wi-Fi problems without having a clear picture of your environment is nearly impossible. Channelizer and Wi-Spy are purpose-built to give you that clear picture. Wi-Spy scans both the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi bands, and Channelizer renders that data into an easy-to-read visualization that will show you the Wi-Fi and non-Wi-Fi interference plaguing your network. If you need to quickly identify and eliminate interference in any wireless environment, from small business to enterprise networks, Channelizer and Wi-Spy DBX will help you get the job done. To thank you for supporting our friends at Clear to Send, MetaGeek is offering a limited time 10% discount to all listeners. Go to metageek.com/CTS and use the code CTS10 at checkout for 10% off your purchase of any Channelizer and Wi-Spy DBX bundle.
I was like, that's yours.
That's my water.
Yeah. So, and we were like, well, there's a couple of options. It's running across a public street, so there's...
Oh, yeah, you've got...
Yeah.
You're gonna trench fiber on a public street.
And that's the thing. It's like, we can do a lot with that. It's like, we can run fiber to it, but it's 5 trailers, which is a temporary location, and which in education, temporary means it's 5 to 10 years. So,
as I say on my campus, temporary is always permanent.
Yes. It's like, that's a temporary classroom. It's
temporary is not in my vocabulary.
No, temporary is in theirs. So we got to the point where we were looking at fiber, and I was like, yeah, but now you have to go get... And they were like, oh, by the way, we're starting to host classes there in 3 months.
Oh, and you got that urgency now.
Yeah. Now it's like, so fiber's out.
Yeah, fiber will... So the thing with fiber is it takes a long time to get fiber.
Well, if I owned everything... Fiber's easier.
Yeah.
I pay the guy comes out, the guy trenches it, we're done.
Yeah, on my campus, fiber's easy to come by. We have a team that does fiber, they run it, it's simple, it's
I have a contractor.
Private property.
I'm not where you're at. I have to pay somebody. I don't have an actual paid person.
We pay people to run the fiber, but you have to run over public
so now that you're
property.
talking permits, you're talking, and if anybody here who has dealt with like city stuff, it'll happen, just not on your time frame.
It's not going to happen in 3 months.
So
your only solution was
a wireless point-to-point. And actually, it came to the point that I was talking with people. You've had these things on your show before. We have a couple of people in the Slack group that we are part of talk about point-to-point. And it's like, I've always thought of point-to-point as like, it's point-to-point. It's the latency,
It's come a long way.
It's come a long way. And so I'm sitting here looking at Ubiquiti because a lot of people have talked about it. And I was like, all right, let's take a look. It's affordable.
It's easy to use. There's a big support
forum for it. And so I was looking at the cost and it was like, okay, I have 4 to 5 trailers that are going to be running 4 classrooms, and at best 1, maybe 2 might be running like a 30 classroom lab with laptops or something like that.
30 classrooms or
30 person classroom with lab. 30 to 35 people. That is the state minimum if you're curious about California. So 35 is what's considered a full class. So I was like, okay, let's do a point-to-point link, because we're talking about you're getting 1 gig, 2 gig, 5 gig, 10 gig. Mm-hmm. You're getting these links that people, when you start to actually look to point-to-point, is because I initially was like, oh, point-to-point latency. It's because I think old satellite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think I'm like, oh,
it's going to be slow.
It's going to be slow.
You're not going to get the throughput.
And then I started looking at it and I was like, wait, no, it's wireless. It makes sense. If you're doing a point-to-point link, you're working at the speed of wireless. It's a bridge. It's a wireless bridge. And they've been doing them in hospitals.
You're extending an Ethernet cable.
Yes. Exactly.
Just over wireless.
You're just changing the medium.
Yeah. So you saw that Ubiquiti is probably the best fit, right? For the time frame you need.
For the time frame, for the cost. And so,
the support for them that's there. So you settled on the AirFiber.
So now we went to AirFiber. Okay, so I started looking. Okay, we have AirFiber 5 gigahertz. Sorry, that table is probably, you just got whammed.
Robert just slammed. He slammed the table just like that. And,
so
that's where the microphone is.
Yeah, so you're looking at AirFiber comes in a couple of flavors. You have the AirFiber, which is the 5 gigahertz. Mm-hmm. You have the AirFiber24, which is 24 gigahertz. Mm-hmm. And then you have the AirFiber HD, which I think is also 24 gigahertz. But it's a
more throughput.
It's a different mechanism. And to be honest, I think we did a measurement. It's literally like the size of a football field. Mm-hmm. So we're talking 100 meters, 300 meters. I mean,
you went with 24 gigahertz because you didn't want the 5 gigahertz competing.
So my issue was where that antenna was going to end up being mounted is probably 5 feet above.
Yeah, we're not talking about.
Yeah, I'm not doing a tower.
Multi-story.
Yeah, no, I'm not in a tower. That link is 20 feet on either end.
So one of the first things I think about is how hot is that signal? Because these AirFibers can run miles and miles, like over like maybe 7 miles.
I think 8 miles is the limit on the 24. And so you can run up to, you can put some power behind them. And I mean, luckily Ubiquiti, because I am a point-to-point noob. I'm not going to lie.
So for those of you who don't know Ubiquiti, they have quite a few resources for planning this out. And there's a tool that you use.
Yeah, it was the AirLink, I think as they call it.
Yeah, I think it's airlink.ubnt.com.
You literally take Google Maps and they use an overlay where they drop a transmit and a receive.
Yeah, and you could use your coordinates or an address.
And we scrolled in. If you watch the YouTube video, I can kind of show you. We kind of went over through how we did it.
Yeah, I'll link to that in the show notes because you define how high the radios are going to be.
And then you start
your distance.
Yep. And then you can start changing the transmit power of your radios, and you'll start looking at your ERP, and you'll start looking at what kind of the expected RSSI is going to be on that. And then you can start looking at your modulation, which is interesting because you start looking at your modulation in 24 gigahertz, which is a lot different than 5 gig.
How so?
So you're looking at like there, it's a 6x modulation. They use the QAM. It's like 6 QAM, and you're like, well, 6 QAM. You're like,
because of the channel width.
Well, I think it's the frequency. It's a different modulation scheme. You're not using the same.
It's not the QAMs you see.
It's not the same QAMs you see.
802.11.
Yeah, in your 802.11.
2.4 and 5 gigahertz.
Exactly. So you're like 6 QAM. You're like, first of all, that's weird. Second of all, 6
coming
QAM.
from a guy who's doing indoor Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's like 6 QAM. I'm like, what am I going to get? Like 2 megs?
But what were you seeing?
So it is actually rated to be a 1.4 gigabit per second link. That's full duplex.
Full duplex.
So you're looking at about 700
send and receive.
Send and receive. So you're looking at 700 send, 7 receive.
And this is where someone like you and I, coming from indoor Wi-Fi, will get our minds blown. Mm-hmm. Is because we work in half duplex, and that means only one device can speak at a time. But these point-to-point links, you have your send and receive at the same time.
Which is interesting not that I'll ever try this in production because it works right now, but you actually have the option to keep those point-to-point links in a half duplex state.
But so why would you do that?
I don't know, but I'd like to understand that a little more because I guess if I kept it in a half duplex state, I could get a 1.4 gigabit per second
aggregate,
okay, half duplex versus,
which would mean 500 or 500 meg send.
No. So you get not aggregate. Sorry, you would get a 1.4 gigabit per second send. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's half duplex, so receive.
Yeah, your throughput's
it'd be halved essentially.
Yeah.
But at the same time, versus a full duplex 700. So in my mind, it's like it would be an interesting test. To sit there and put it in half duplex where I can get 1.4 gig per second, gigabits per second.
So you're mentioning this as a test. Interesting to do this as a test. Which means you have it in a full duplex.
Oh yeah, currently I run in a full duplex, which essentially I get 700 megs
Send and receive.
Send and receive. Yeah.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting to see like I said, as a test, it'd be interesting to put it into half duplex mode and do like a performance comparison. Yeah.
And now, can you set the channel width on this 24 gigahertz frequency?
No, you get two choices. You get, as a send receive, you get a 24.1 and a 24.2. Okay. Which, if you're running in full duplex mode, which is an interesting thing as you're setting this up, your transmit on one side will be 24.1. Your receive on the other side needs to be 24.1.
Yeah. And we kind of described that in the video. YouTube video that we do for the Wi-Fi of everything. So I'll link to that in the show notes so people can kind of get that. Because you need that visualization for it.
Yes. Because you need to kind of understand that it's not, because a lot of people are like, I'm transmitting and receiving, It's not the same.
And I had a hard time grasping that because now I'm getting into point-to-points. Because coming from the 802.11 world where everything's half duplex, and my son just walked into the room. We're just used to everything working communicating.
It's like a one direction. Yeah. It's a half duplex mechanism. So you sit there and you're like, okay, now you need to choose your frequency. It's like, okay, you're sending on one and you're listening on another, and you're like, wait, that's weird.
So what's different about using Ubiquiti, these point-to-points, the 24 gigahertz? Like, what's your RSSI? Because how far is the distance between?
So the distance really is only about, we're going to say, we took a measurement. They're really good at figuring it out. Ubiquiti is. So they basically, they kind of determine the distance. I think it was 350 meters. So it's not really long.
Yeah, it's a very short distance for a point-to-point.
For a point-to-point link. Yeah. And so.
But it's definitely much more cheaper or inexpensive than running
fiber.
Trenching fiber.
Especially when you have to take into effect the fact that you're going to have to trench, you're going to have to get permits, you're going to have to...
The time, too.
We just threw polls up.
Yeah, you had professors that said, I'm running a class in 3 months.
3 months, make it work.
Internet, yeah.
So...
at least you got 3 months notice.
Okay. That was.
I typically get.
It's like I need 3 days here notice. In 3 months, and you're like,
I usually get a request that says, "Hey, I'm having a class in this room. It's got about
but it's still a
100 to 300 people, and it's happening tomorrow. Can you?
But you at least have Ethernet points. At least Ethernet ports.
Ports. Say it right, dude. Ports.
Sam, this is your fault. So yeah, no. So what we did with the RSSI, you have to also look at the fact that you have where you want to be, and then where you actually are.
So did you have to pad it at all?
I did pad. And that's one of those things in this, if you watch the YouTube video, we talk about how the padding of it is the fact that on a clear, beautiful sky, your RSSI is this. But what happens when it rains? What happens when you have fog? What happens?
Because you're in Monterey, fog rolls in all the time.
You're starting to talk CWNA basics here. It's like, hi, I'm not worrying about the Fresnel so much because the curvature of the Earth. Yeah, that's not really my issue. My issue is raindrops across the signal refract, and you know what I mean.
And do you guys get a lot of rain?
I'm in Monterey. I'm on the bay. I'm literally. You stand on the roof where my antenna is. I see the ocean 3 miles that way.
Yeah.
I get the bay fog all day long.
Okay.
So essentially,
do you see that signal drop?
No, because of power. So essentially, you sit there and look, and it's a weird point to point is weird because of the fact that it's like when we're doing indoor Wi-Fi, you want to be more conscientious of power. It's like, so if my AP is kicking out, 20 dBs, and my phone's kicking out 7, we're having some weird things could possibly happen. There's a mismatch of power.
There's a power mismatch.
But with point to points, it's like I have to prepare for the fact that on a clear sunny day, I need 20 dB to get there. Mm-hmm. I need to get my full maximum modulation. I need 20 dB to get there. On a foggy day, I need 30 dB to get there.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's fog.
Fog could create
fog can
10
rain, wind. I mean, it just depends because you got to remember, I live.
It's a higher frequency.
Yeah, I live next to the ocean, so basically, sand, anything. It
could attenuate that signal because we're used to 2.4 and 5.
And we're used to indoor environments. But now we're dealing with 24 gigahertz, which is such a
higher frequency.
So the frequency is so small.
And your beam width is very small.
Yep. That was one of the learning curves for me. Is because I'm sitting here, I'm used to, it's like, so we use Omnis, okay, we've got our Omnis, and we got our patches, your 30 degree, your 60 degree patch. I'm using, okay, now you're on a point to point. Oh, now you have a 10 degree.
Yeah, you got a directional antenna, highly directional
with like a 10 degree path.
So what was the experience like aligning that antenna?
So the initial alignment was a little weird. I went ahead and I took it to our football field because that's close. You know what I mean? I go goal in to goal in. That was a pretty close, and there's pictures on Twitter of me going crazy with it. And we found that me setting it up and just eyeballing it, I was still getting like a neg 80 RSSI on one things. And I literally changed the direction of the antenna maybe a degree and boom, down into a neg 60.
Yeah.
It's the beam width on point to point is that I think that's a little scary thing for people, and it's something people need to understand. Is
what's nice though about Ubiquiti and some other vendors is that they got a little tool
on the bottom, like
it's built in.
Yeah, so on the actual antenna itself, they actually have a little digital readout that will tell you the RSSI, which is really nice because you're like neg 70, yeah.
It's looking at the voltage of that signal. It's seeing because I'm probably going to do an episode on this, but I set up a point to point SICLU. But I had to attach a voltmeter to it.
Yeah.
And so I can see the RSSI based on the volts that I see.
It's interesting to see how we always forget when we talk RF, we talk these things. It's really just, it's electronic signal. Yeah. It's like a voltmeter will save you more times than not in some things.
So I had to go buy one because it's got the slots. It's got the slots for the voltmeter. I'm like, okay, I got to put that in.
When did you ever think as an RF engineer, as a Wi-Fi guy, you're going to have to take a voltmeter and start plugging it in?
But that is the most accurate way to get that signal nailed down because I was doing it, eyeballing it, and you just can't you're guessing the whole time.
You are.
But if you use the voltmeter or like what's built into Ubiquiti AirFibers it's got that digital readout.
Yeah.
It's basically the voltmeter telling you whether or not you're aligned. You can get it down accurately that way because then now you're taking the guesswork out.
Yep.
Now you're getting the best RSSI, you're getting the best SNR the best quality signal you can for that point to point.
Yep. So yeah, no, and so far since we've said it, it's like again, we talk about this in the YouTube. It's like I would like to go in and I'd like to start because I'm a guy that I was always taught you never use more power than needed.
Than you need.
So it's like you never use. Yeah, there was an actual saying, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. It's like you never use you never use one more milliwatt than you actually need. But so I'd like to go down and I'd like to tune it to perfection because I personally still think that I am overcompensating my alignment with power.
Okay.
So yeah, but at the same time, I don't have complaints. I don't have latency issues. I don't have
because that's
so it's one of those things.
Feedback is whether or not the students in that classroom that's on the other side of the link are they having problems?
It's ego now. It's one of those things that's like, can you make that link work at this rate? Because you got to remember, and it's like we were talking earlier. It's all about customer service. My end users are happy.
Yeah.
So should I really touch it at this point in time? But the RF engineer...
You can make them happier.
Oh, sorry. The Wi-Fi guy. I don't want to say I'm an RF engineer, but the Wi-Fi guy in me is like, well, I guess I could align that a little better. I can lower the power. I don't want to abuse my transmit power.
Yeah, you want to optimize your signal. But what would you say you do differently after you've deployed it?
Differently?
Or like, what did you not like? What's something that hung you up when?
Okay, so a couple of things. Okay, there were two things that hung me up. One, read their information. I'm a Wi-Fi guy.
Read the manual.
Read the manual.
RTFM.
And I understand.
Or RTFM.
Whoa. Yeah. It's like read the manual because when I first set it up, I'm sitting here, I'm in my office and I got the two of them connected like 20 feet away. It's getting hot in the office and I'm like, why is this not working?
Why is my hair dropping off?
Yeah. And it literally says in the manual, it's like, hey, by the way, you need to be 300 feet away before you do this. Second, again, read the manual. A lot of it was read the manual. It's like, I'm a Wi-Fi guy. I know how this works.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing setup, and it's like I'm naming as it goes, pick your device name. And I picked the device name. Actually, that's pretty much the SSID.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So some language differences.
Yeah, there's language differences. Okay. Where in the manual, it clearly says this needs to be the same as this. But I'm going, well, Wi-Fi guy, this is the name. I know what it's supposed to. I want this to be. I want this to be link 1, link 2.
The SSID between the two radios were different. So they weren't connecting.
And I was having issues connecting. And it's like, I was like, oh, really? That's...
because we come from the 802.11.
Or it's like, I'm naming APs. I'm not naming, it's like, no, this is, one thing I'd like to ask from Ubiquiti, though, is in their AirFiber tool, or their AirFiber, in their AirLink tool, is they have a term where they call EIRP the box. You can change that box. And that's your total power. That's not really the right term in my mind.
Okay.
So it's like when I was doing that, because they'll sit there and you'll have your link and you'll say, okay, your link is like, I think the AirFiber links to 24 gigs, they're like 23 dBi. And I'm thinking, when I say EIRP, I'm like, okay, that's my link. That's my antenna gain.
That's your total
plus
power
my TX power.
Coming out of the antenna.
Yeah, coming out of that. And so when I put that in, I come up, it's like, so say I go, I want a 20 dB power. And according to me, if I put 20 into that box, that means technically I'm running at a negative 3 dB power. Because if you call the box EIRP, because if I have a 23 gain antenna and I put 20 as my EIRP, I'm running at negative 3 power, according to the math. When technically that box is actually your transmit power.
Okay.
So
the language is still
the language again. It's a language term, and maybe it's because I'm a Wi-Fi guy and that's a point-to-point thing.
Yeah,
but that's to me. It's like once I realized that, I stopped having problems.
Okay,
because I was having issues. It's
you got over the hump of just the language.
It's a language thing. Yeah. It's the thing. It's like okay, you put this number. The box that you are editing is your transmit power.
Yeah.
So it's just for those guys that are EIRP guys, they're like, okay, I need to match this. Cause, there's a lot of, you have FCC regulations or whatever your regulations are.
You gotta make sure you're not exceeding that.
And that's my FCC thing. It's like, if I put 50 in my friggin' EIRP box, it's like, I'm expecting that's what it assumes that.
I don't even know
for 24 gigahertz. I don't either. I just don't beat what they say. But yeah, so that was kind of a learning curve for me as well, is the fact that the language on their planner was a little weird, because in my mind, because it'll allow you to take negative numbers in there. So if they're listening, I'd love them to change that to transmit power, because and then find another way, because what you do is you put a number in that box, which is your transmit power. It adds that to your antenna gain, and then you can scroll up and it will literally tell you what your, in a perfect world, what your RSSI is.
Okay.
And so again, we start talking where you have so if I want an RSSI to keep their QAM rate of say a neg 60, I need a neg 60 between my link. We need some buffer, because on a clear shiny day, this is what it is at neg 60. So you can start doing some planning, but for those typical RF guys that are for those typical Wi-Fi guys that are like, okay, I don't want to use more than I need to. I understand that, I'm going to get a loss for this outdoor. They might look at that and they'll start looking and go, EIRP. Okay, so if I put that number in, I'm putting in my gain.
Total.
Yeah. You're thinking total, not transmit power. So,
yeah, I can see where that gets you.
And I had a whole thing. And I was talking to a couple of guys who've deployed them before, and what's the problem with that? And then finally, you're right. That probably shouldn't say EIRP. It should say transmit power.
Yeah. But aside from all those language, you've got it working.
Yeah.
You've got happy professors, happy students. You've got a link that you've saved your campus thousands of dollars.
Thousands. Because you got to take a look. So even though I went 24 gigahertz, and again, we did it because we were so close to the tops of the light poles where we're going to be putting Wi-Fi eventually. I did not.
You didn't want that level of interference.
It's one of those things where I did not want to have to worry about the fact that, crap. I'm using channels for a point-to-point link that now I could possibly be using in a parking lot and causing interference.
You'll have contention.
And it was a cost where they were almost willing to spend $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for a fiber link when I could have been like,
you've saved them. You got them, it's what?
It's $1,500. I think it's like $1,500 a link. And it's like, I can do the same thing for $3,000. So, yes, could I have saved them $1,000 going 5 gigahertz? Probably, but on the grand scale of things, what they were about to pay for fiber, let's spend the extra $1,000 and make sure that down the line, if they happen to raise the, you know what I mean, raise the light posts because they don't like that they're not generating enough light, and they're like, well, we're going to put APs up there now that I'm not dropping 5 gigahertz signal right in the middle of my...
Right. Yeah. So you don't want to compete with that frequency. Yeah. You're on the 24 gigahertz frequency. It's still unlicensed. Mm-hmm. You've got it working perfectly for your campus. You've got students on it.
We actually I did an entire meeting there. So we ran a Sparkboard session, a Jabber call, as well as a WebEx call, all through that, while we were having a class that was actually using 24 Chromebooks, I think.
Wow.
At the same time, with no latency problems whatsoever.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're interesting in the fact that my biggest concern was always been like, point to point, you're going to have latency.
This is why I'm like into point to point now. Yeah. It's like, fiber is expensive to trench, to run. Like, you can do this with wireless links, low latency.
Wireless will work.
Yeah, it'll work. You got to plan it.
Wait, wireless works?
Yeah, Wi-Fi works, of course.
Wait, Wi-Fi works?
As long as you plan it correctly, you pick the right equipment, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? You gotta know what you're doing. Well, we're approaching close to the 1 hour mark.
Goodness, we always talk a long time when we're here together. Yeah.
But I want to thank you for coming onto the show, talking about your experience with the Ubiquiti AirFiber 24 gigahertz link.
Definitely.
It was interesting to hear when you got it. And I'm going to request screenshots from you so we can add that into the show notes.
Hey, actually, I have, if people want, I can give a drone video. I took a video.
Oh, drone. He's trying to find a way to use this drone.
So if people are interested, instead of pictures, I'll just give you the drone
We can
video.
include that into the show notes. It'll be interesting to see how you set it up, and then maybe it influences other people to set up their link. So, again, you can find Robert online where?
Twitter at ROBB_404. You can find me at rob404.com. And then, of course, at the Wi-Fi of Everything on YouTube. So
yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for coming out here to my garage, Clear Descent headquarters.
Clear Descent headquarters, yes. And actually, Wi-Fi of Everything headquarters.
Wi-Fi of Everything headquarters, too, I guess.
Man, this garage, I tell you what, we're going to eventually get some, interns in here.
There'll be no card in here. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, sign up for the giveaway that I have going. Go to Clear Descent.
Is beautiful.
It's nice. I've seen it. It powers everything.
Yeah, it powered my laptop really nice.
It powers everything. Go to cleardescent.net/100 for the giveaway form. It's at the bottom of the show notes. Don't forget to sign up. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Let us know what you think. We actually have a survey also.
Yes.
Let us know what you think of the show. Give us more information so we can better cater episodes to you guys. And I think you can get that at cleardescent.net/survey. And once again, thank you guys for listening.